Hi there. In this screencast, we'll look at setting up Sage 50 so that we can accept credit cards from our customers as well as use credit cards with our suppliers. So first of all, I'm just going to add a couple of accounts. Credit card receivable. So that'll be the merchant account for the bank that handles all of our credit card transactions. Credit card payable, so that'll be the actual credit card that we used for purchases, as well as an account to handle any service charges for both of those accounts. So I'm going to go to my chart of accounts, and I'm going to add 1100. I don't presently have one, so that's good. And create. That is credit card receivable. And it's a group account. And the class options is credit card receivable. And in this situation, it'll be the bank that handles that. For us, it's RBC, no branch name, but the account number. So you'll notice it's not a 16-digit number, so this is again the merchant account that handles all of our sales. It's not the actual credit card we use. And I'm going to go ahead and create another 2140. Now this is the actual credit card that we use for purchases. And that's also a group. The class is credit card payable. There it is there. And then finally, the expense account to handle all of the charges for those two items. And you'll see where we link these in a moment. It's also a group account, and the class option can be any sort of expense. And save and close. So now we'll go to setup settings and set up, link those accounts that we just added for our credit cards used as well as for sales. There's credit cards there, and you see we have used and accepted purchases and sales. So we only have one credit card that we use for purchases, but if you have more than one that you use, if you have, for example, Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, and Amex, you would add them all here. So this is for every card in your wallet. The payable account is the account we just added, and the expense account is the expense account we just added as well. And I'll choose OK, and I'll go back there for our sales as well. So this is every credit card that we plan on accepting from our customers. So you probably want to add all four: Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, and Amex. So we're going to have Visa. We're going to accept Visa. Currency is Canadian. We'll be looking at multiple currencies a little later on. Asset account is that account we created, and the bank lets us know they charge us 1.5% to handle that transaction for us. And same thing for MC and Amex. Is a little more which is why it's not so popular. Alright, so we've set up everything to handle our sales as well as purchases. So let's quickly take a look at a transaction for each of those. So I'll go to receivables. I'll create an invoice. This is for a one-time customer. So as we saw in level 1, one-time customers can only use cash or check, but now that we have credit cards, they can also use credit cards. So invoice, now you see there's the 3 credit cards we just set up, and he's using Visa on February 11th. And he's buying a couple of 105s. And notice we now have HST. This company's in Ontario, where they don't have GST and PST, they only have HST. And since they're paying at the time of purchase, instead of seeing our terms here, we get a discount. So we're going to give them a 3% discount because we don't have to wait for their payment. And now you'll see when you look at the report that, of course, accounts receivable is not affected. Instead, it's credit card receivable. So we'll be receiving this money from our merchant account. And I'll go ahead and post. And let's quickly take a look at the other side, making a purchase on credit card. So I'm done with this. And they let us know, Sage 50 lets us know there's a service available where they can actually handle all of our credit card transactions. I'm going to close this. I might want to read about it later on. So I'll go to payables, purchase invoice. This is a brand new vendor, Toronto Sun. Not Toronto Star, but Toronto Sun. And I'm just going to quick add them. Sorry, quick add, not full add. And their invoice number is TSUN, and this happened on the 12th. And this is for some advertising we're having them do. They charged us $465 plus HST, and the account is advertising expense. There it is there. Now, make sure you choose Visa up here. And we should be good. And I'll go ahead and post. Now I'm going to do the 2 other transactions that are in your notes and book, and then we'll quickly take a look at how we reconcile credit card accounts. Alright, so those credit card accounts need to be reconciled in the same manner as bank accounts. So I'm going to quickly set those up for reconciliation just like we did with our bank account previously. So I'm going to go back to company, chart of accounts, and 2140. The account that we created, and reconciliation deposit. Make sure you save transactions for account reconciliation and setup. So we're going to be using 4100 interest earned, the same account we used previously. Adjustments 5190. That account we set up for credit card charges. Bank charges 5190, and interest expense 5190. There are no NSF fees for this credit card, and okay. And I'll do the same thing for 1100 as well. Exactly the same as what we did for 2040. And now we can reconcile those accounts. So we go back to banking, reconcile accounts, and you see that we now have all three available, whereas we only had 1080 available before. So I'm going to reconcile our credit card for purchases. So this is as of, this is for the month of February. So statement is February 1st and is February 28th. And we're reconciling on the 28th. The opening balance is 0, and we're getting this amount from our statement, which is 208045. And the comment is Visa reconciliation, Feb 2017. And there are no prior outstanding, so we'll just quickly click on Add Prior Outstanding, and yes, and okay. So it shows us the two transactions that we entered for that payable account, and they both appear on the statement, so we just check them off. There's an unresolved amount of $44, and that is our credit card charge. So we choose expense, store, and we'll just say statement for a source document, and the amount is $44. So if you look at the report, just make that smaller for you. It's increased that liability by 44 and increased the expense by 44. And we can go ahead and post unresolved amount of 0. And we'll do the very same thing for our credit card sales. So February 1st, February 28th, reconciliation date is February 28th. Opening balance is the first time we've used this merchant account, so 0. And we're getting this amount from our statement. And the comment is, again, first time that we've reconciled this account, so we click Add Prior Outstanding, yes, and okay. And both of the amounts appear on my statement. There's an unresolved amount of 83 cents, which is the small amount of interest that we received from the merchant that was holding those funds for us. So we can just choose income. We'll say CC statement for that. And we earned 83 cents. And go ahead and post. So that is setting up Sage 50 to accept and purchase using credit cards, as well as reconciling those credit card accounts. Thanks so much for watching.